Hi, welcome to Accordioncafe. We're going to strip down this washer part by part and do an explanation of different things, how they work. This is actually a primer washer dryer. It's scrap. There's something wrong with the brain of the board, so I'm not going to bother fixing it. They're hard enough to sell as it is without trying to sell a second-hand washer dryer. So we'll start by first of all, when you disconnect your water inlets, go on this, which is the valves which let the water in. These are solenoids, and of course they're controlled by the brain. Now when you take the pipe off, you can have a look inside your pipe. There should be a little filter in there. Make sure that's clean and have a look inside there. Make sure there's no blockages causing your fault, whatever that might be. Then when you've checked the water supply, which if it's a low pressure water supply can stop your machine working as well, you can then come round to the front here. Now here is where, I've already took this off, is where this filter goes on. Check that that's not blocked up, and look inside and check the impeller. If it's straight to the impeller, you can see the impeller and check it to make sure it's not come loose off the shaft. When you come to pull your machine out, we'll have the waste water pipe. The best way to deal with the waste water pipe to stop it flooding your kitchen is to stick a cork in the end. And you can lie it on cloth anyway. I'll have a bit of some washing. There's a lot of muck coming out of this actually, so it could be a problem in the pump. Okay, so to take the case off this, because on some machines you're getting everything from the top, you take the case off. You can see how sharp the metal is on these cases, so be careful. I've been doing washing machines for on and off for 50 years, and I still cut myself. There's very sharp edges in here, extremely sharp under there. That's like a razor edge. I can't figure that out. They don't seem to think about the techies who work on these things. Right, so to take the case off, there's a bolt there and a bolt there, and there's bolts at the side which go down here, and they're covered by these little caps. With the caps off, and then you've got your bolts. So there's 4 bolts, and then the case comes off the back. When you take the back off, you can get it if you need to replace your belt, or if you want to check your heater connections. These are the heater, this is the heater element here, and you'll put a meter lead across those, and to test them, I always take these connections off just in case you're getting a reading through the rest of the machine, and it makes you think that it's okay. In actual fact, it's not okay. Right, so there's your heater there. That's obviously your motor, and the pump is in there. We'll come to that later. These concrete weights on here able to stabilise the tub, and down the bottom here, these struts here, so those are your dampers, one that side and one that side. To get the dampers off, there's a peg here, a pin thing. You simply squeeze that, and on the other side there may be things which you have to squeeze in with the pliers to pull them out, and they simply just pull out. And the same with the top, connected to this tub, which is plastic on this one. Obviously your bearing for your drum is under here. You'll have to get that out to do that, but we'll come to that later. And your suspension for the tub is on these springs here, which are hooked onto the case. Remove your weights first if you're going to take the tub out. Makes it a lot easier to handle. This is the soap dispenser, which obviously goes in the front. And so the water inlet, these solenoids, water valves open when they're charged. They're open. You can hear them clunk when they start. Goes into the soap dispenser. Whatever wash you're on, whatever program it decides which side of the This is round this way when you look at it from the outside. You know, whatever you're doing, whether you're doing your pre-wash or your main wash, and when it does to your fabric conditioner. Then the water that comes in there, comes into here, goes into there, then it goes into the top of the tub, through this here, and into the main wash tub. When it gets to the right level, when there's enough water gone in there, there is a pipe which goes from the, I can't see it, there's another little plastic tank on the side, which has got a rubber hose to it, and then from the top of that little tank it comes to this here, which is a pressure switch. We've looked at this on another video. The top's off this at the moment, and there's another part goes in there, which we'll just get out of the tub here. We've done all this in the previous video, but I'll very quickly show you this. That little fella sits on there, into the connections there. There's 3 connections and a post where it sits on. This plastic thing goes on top of there. Then you've got your diaphragm, and as the water rises in the tub, so it creates pressure through the pressure vessel. I got my teeth in. The pressure vessel, and then it comes through the pressure vessel up this pipe here onto that, causes air pressure onto this, which operates the switches inside here, these reed switches, and sends signals in and out through those spade connectors on the back, telling the brain of the machine, which is this fella here, which as you can see I've already taken off. If this has got a fault on it, then you've got big problems. And if it's an older machine, you might as well scrap the machine. So everything is operated from that brain, which is mounted here on this particular machine. Some of them will go along the back of the control panel. I'm sorry about this blood on my thing. Anyway, so the brain controls everything really. It controls your water intake and your heater element, your motor. It's got the timer inside it, and it operates these to distribute the water where it's got to go through the various detergents and conditioners what you've got in there. Now this is a washer dryer. Now when your mains comes in through here, I'll just skip back a second. This is your mains lead, chopped off, okay. Comes here. This is a interference suppressor. It's a capacitor. Mind it's not charged up when you start touching the wires there. This has been off for a long time. It's discharged. Otherwise you might get a little shock off that. The ones in microwaves are enough to kill you. Right, now this is your blower unit for the dryer. Get this out. These are already unbolted. They don't come out as easy as this. But if you take the back off the machine and work on it, you'll see. Now this is this motor. This is a shaded pole motor. You can see those copper segments there. That's why it's called a shaded pole, because they affect the field, the magnetic field in the stator, which drives the rotor, which then drives this wheel here, drives the belt, and drives the fan there. And this all keeps it nice and cool and happy. So this drives air through here, which blows into the heater for the dryer side of the machine. And these are your heating elements here. And this is where you can put your meter across to see that your heater elements are working. Here we've got sensors and thermostats to keep it at the right temperature and to shut down if it's overheating. And then the hot air, then as it's heated up, it comes through to this part here. There's another sensor I've already taken out there, and that goes into the top of the tub. I'll turn the camera over there so you can see that. It goes through there and into the tub, and blows on your washing and dries it. Now there's This is like a condenser unit, this thing at the side here, because as the warm moist air comes out of the tub after it's been drying your washing, it comes out through this accordion bellows here. I like saying that word, accordion. And it goes through here, condenses and takes any moisture out, and it goes somewhere else. It's the first time I took this particular model machine apart. Anyway, so the water disappears somewhere down there. And the air comes back up again and goes through the dryer and so on back down into the wash. So there we are. So there's the blower unit, and as this motor turns, okay, you can see there's your blower inside there. Little dry belt on there, so you can check that dry belt's okay. And there's our dry unit. We'll put that over there. Okay. And we spoke about these inlet valves here. You can see there are 3 valves there. They're solenoids. It means they're opened and closed electrically. They're coils of copper wire insulated, and when they're energised, they will force the valve in or out, whichever way is required, and the associated little bits of hoses with it. So that's that part there. And our unit for heating is here, and you can see the heater element in there. And there we are. Let's have a look at the end of this here, and this says on here 240 volt. Where's the watts? 700 watts, 700 watts. So there's 2 elements in there, 700 watts each. Next, right, the next thing we're going to do is show you how to take off the door seal. And we'll do that in the next video, and it'll be called Washer Dryer Strip Down Part 2. This will be Part 1. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.